The notification lit up my screen while I sat in the hospital cafeteria, stirring coffee I never planned to drink. My daughter Lily had just walked out of a small ceremony on the pediatric floor, honored for 6 months of speech therapy. She had strung together 3 whole sentences without stumbling, and the joy on her face had made every exhausted night worth it. I shouldn't have opened Instagram, but habit won out. And there it was, a slideshow from my husband's sister Rachel, showing their family beach trip to the Coral Bay Resort. 12 adults, 15 kids, everyone grinning under palm trees beside an infinity pool that looked like it poured straight into the sea. Every single relative was there, except us. The opening photo showed Rachel lifting a champagne flute, surrounded by my husband's brothers and their wives. Her caption read, "Our yearly trip, celebrating our gifted children, so thankful to mark their wins together." I kept scrolling, a nephew gripping a soccer trophy, a niece flashing a flawless report card, a cousin's boy holding a science fair ribbon. The comments filled up fast with congratulations and heart emojis. Then came the group shot, everyone lined up on the sand at golden hour, kids dressed in matching white, adults in soft pastels. Underneath, Rachel had typed, "Keeping the tradition alive, a week honoring the kids who make us proud, no distractions, no drama, just real family joy." My hands started to shake. Lily and I hadn't just been left out. We'd been wiped from the picture entirely. I clicked on my mother-in-law's comment. "This is what family should look like. Quality time with quality people. Some gatherings are meant only for those who can truly appreciate them." My other sister-in-law, Denise, had chimed in. "Agreed. We have to protect spaces where everyone gets to shine. Can't let that energy get dragged down." No. The coffee suddenly tasted bitter. I set the phone down and stared out at the parking lot, trying to slow my breathing. Lily was still upstairs with her therapist, probably showing off her certificate to anyone within earshot. She'd worked so hard for that moment, practiced daily, cried through the setbacks, celebrated every tiny win. And her own family couldn't spare her a single thought. My phone buzzed again, a text from Rachel. "Hope you're not upset about the trip. We kept the guest list small this year, plus you know how overwhelming these things can get. Didn't think Lily would enjoy all the noise. Honestly, we were doing you a favor." I reread it twice, every word polished to sound thoughtful while it cut straight to the bone. Another message followed. "The resort's incredible, though. Probably a bit much for kids who need extra attention. Everything moves fast here. You get it, right?" I understood completely. I opened my camera roll and found a photo from that same morning. Lily in her little dress, certificate in hand, beaming. Her therapist had called her a star student. The whole floor had applauded. I posted it with a simple line. "So proud of this fighter. 6 months of speech therapy, and today she gave a speech that had the whole room in tears. Real excellence takes many shapes." Within minutes, likes rolled in from friends and co-workers who actually knew my daughter. Then I saw it. Rachel had liked the post. The nerve of it made me laugh out loud, startling the older man at the next table. I scrolled through my contacts until I found a name I rarely dialed. Daniel Cho, General Manager of Coral Bay Resort. We'd known each other since business school, long before I'd built my own investment portfolio, long before I'd quietly bought a controlling stake in 3 coastal luxury properties, Coral Bay included. Almost no one in the family knew about my business dealings. I kept it separate, operating under my maiden name. My husband knew, but he was constantly traveling for work and had little patience for his family's gossip. After his mother made one too many digs about me being just a stay-at-home mum, I stopped correcting anyone. Let them believe whatever they wanted. I owed them nothing. He was about to find out. "Daniel, it's Vanessa. I said, the moment he answered. I need you to look up a reservation, last name Reeves, checked in yesterday. I heard keys clicking. Got it. Rachel Reeves, party of 27, presidential suite plus 4 adjoining ocean view rooms. They've reserved the private beach cabana all week and booked dinner every night at the signature restaurant. What's the total running? Sitting around 48,000 for the week. With the spa packages and water sports add-ons, it could climb to 60 by checkout. I ran the numbers in my head. Rachel's husband was a dentist, comfortable, not rich. My brother-in-law worked sales. They'd likely pooled money for this trip, maybe leaned on other relatives to help cover it. All that spending to celebrate everyone but my daughter. Upgrade them, I said. Daniel paused. To the royal villa, private pool, personal chef, on the house. Vanessa, that's 15,000 a night. I know. I want them to have the best 3 days of their lives. Every luxury. Treat them like royalty. Another pause. He'd worked with me long enough to know I never made impulsive calls. And after those 3 days, I'll be there myself. We'll talk then. I hung up and pulled Rachel's page back up. New photos had already appeared. Kids eating gelato, adults raising glasses at dinner, everyone glowing, celebrating their exceptional children. I saved screenshots of every single post. By morning, Rachel's story showed off the upgrade, the sprawling villa, the private pool, chilled champagne and strawberries waiting in their room. The manager said we were valued guests and wanted us to feel like VIPs, she wrote, feeling so blessed. My mother-in-law posted a video walkthrough of the villa, captioning it, "This is what happens when you're classy people. They know quality when they see it." I spent the next 2 days getting everything in place. My attorney drafted the paperwork I needed. I reached out to the family advocacy non-profit I'd been quietly funding for 3 years. I made calls, confirmed details, tied up loose ends. On the 3rd day, I packed Lily's favorite swimsuit, tucked her new certificate into my carry-on, and drove us both to the airport. "Where are we going, Mummy?" Lily asked, her speech careful but steady. "To the beach, sweetheart, to show some people what real excellence actually looks like." Coral Bay Resort stretched across 12 acres of untouched coastline. I'd first bought into it 5 years earlier, when the previous owners were on the brink of bankruptcy. My partners and I had since turned it into one of the most sought-after destinations in the region. I'd visited twice before, always quietly, never drawing attention. Today would be different. Daniel met us at a private entrance, away from the main lobby. "Everything's set," he said. "They're all down at the beach cabana right now. Some kind of family photo shoot. Perfect timing." I straightened Lily's dress and took her hand. "Ready for an adventure?" We strolled through the grounds, past trimmed gardens and fountains catching the light. Lily stopped every few feet to admire the tropical flowers. No rushing, no pressure. We took our time. The beach cabana sat on a stretch of private sand, sheer white curtains rippling in the sea breeze. Through the fabric, I could make out my entire extended family posed for photos, a hired photographer directing them through what I was sure they thought was the perfect family portrait, minus us. I waited for the photographer to call a break, then Lily and I stepped onto the sand. Rachel spotted us first, her smile freezing mid-sip. Then my mother-in-law, her expression sliding from confusion to irritation. The rest turned when they noticed the stares. "Vanessa," Rachel's voice climbed an octave. "What are you doing here?" "Checking on my property," I said evenly. Lily pressed against my side and I squeezed her hand for reassurance. "Wanted to see how our guests are doing." "Your property?" My brother-in-law scoffed. "Come on, this place costs a fortune. You can't just walk in here." Daniel stepped up beside me, tablet in hand. "Mrs. Reeves, Mrs. Vanessa Cole holds controlling interest in Coral Bay Resort, sir. She's welcome anywhere on these grounds, sons. The silence that followed felt heavy enough to touch. Even the waves seemed to hush. My mother-in-law recovered first. That's absurd. Vanessa doesn't own anything. She's a housewife. I'm a private investor, I corrected her. I've kept a low profile for personal reasons, but I think it's time some things got clarified. I pulled up the screenshots on my phone. Rachel, you wrote this trip was for quality people and exceptional kids. Denise, you talked about not wanting the energy brought down. Mum, you specifically said this trip was only for those who could truly appreciate it. I looked around at each of them. You deliberately left my daughter out of a family event because of her speech delay. You celebrated your kids' wins while erasing hers completely. You came to my resort, spent thousands, and bragged online about excluding a 6-year-old with special needs. Rachel's face went crimson. It wasn't like that. We just thought, you thought my daughter wasn't good enough for your perfect family photos, I finished for her. I held up Lily's certificate. This week, while you were all here celebrating soccer trophies and report cards, Lily was recognized for 6 months of intensive speech therapy. She gave a speech in front of doctors and therapists. She's worked harder for this than any child on this beach. The photographer quietly began packing his gear. Several relatives couldn't hold my gaze. As the owner of this property, I continued, I hold my guests to a certain standard. We take pride in being inclusive and welcoming to every kind of family. We've partnered with disability advocacy groups to make sure this resort welcomes all children. Daniel pulled something up on his tablet. In fact, Mrs. Cole personally funds our accessibility program, adaptive water equipment, sensory-friendly quiet rooms, specially trained staff. She's donated over $200,000 to make sure every child can enjoy this resort. My mother-in-law's champagne glass slipped from her fingers and shattered on the wooden deck. Your complimentary upgrade ends today, I said. You'll be moved back to your original rooms. I've also reviewed your posts. They'll need to come down. Our policy bans using this property to promote exclusion or discrimination. You can't be serious, Rachel whispered. Completely serious. You have 2 options. Post a public apology on the same platforms where you celebrated leaving us out. Acknowledge what happened. Apologize directly to Lily. And commit to doing better. Or check out today and be banned permanently from every property in my portfolio. That's blackmail, my brother-in-law snapped. No, I said quietly. That's accountability. You wanted a place for people who shine. My daughter shines brighter than any of you realize. You wanted to celebrate quality. Quality is built from character, not the absence of struggle. Lily tugged my hand. Mummy, can we see the fish now? Her words came out clear and sure. She'd rehearsed that sentence all morning. The family stared at her, really seeing her, maybe for the first time. Yes, sweetheart. Let's go see the fish. I turned back to face them. You have until tomorrow morning to decide. Daniel will follow up with the details. We walked off, Lily chattering about the tropical fish in the resort aquarium. Behind us, I heard hushed, panicked arguing, someone crying, Rachel's voice rising in a scramble. My phone was already buzzing before we reached the main building, message after message, calls I let go to voicemail. By the time we were watching clownfish weave through the coral, Rachel had posted a lengthy public apology. My mother-in-law had called 4 times. Denise texted, begging me to reconsider, insisting they'd made a serious error in judgment. I brought Lily to the kids' pool, where she splashed and played alongside other children, her laugh echoing across the water. A little boy asked about her certificate. and she proudly explained her speech therapy, stumbling only slightly on the longer words. That evening, Daniel messaged me. All posts taken down, public apologies issued. They're asking if they can stay and make things right. I watched Lily build a sandcastle, completely absorbed, fiercely determined. This child they'd decided wasn't worth including, this little fighter who worked every single day just to be understood. Tell them they can stay, I replied, but they pay full price for their original rooms, no upgrades, no special treatment, and if I see one more post or comment that excludes or belittles any child, they're banned for good. Understood. One more thing, I added. Lily and I will be joining the family dinner tomorrow night. They wanted to celebrate exceptional children. It's about time they learned what that word actually means. Lily ran back to me, covered in sand, holding up a perfect spiral shell. Look what I found, Mummy, isn't it beautiful? The most beautiful thing I've seen all day, I told her, and I wasn't talking about the shell. My phone lit up with another text from Rachel. We're so sorry. Please let us fix this. We want Lily to know we love her. I looked at my daughter, who had never once questioned why she wasn't invited on the family trip, who had simply been thrilled about her award. She deserved better than relatives who only noticed her worth when they were forced to, but she also deserved the chance to be included, to finally get what should have always been hers. Tomorrow night, I texted back, bring your kids, it's time they actually met their cousin. Lily found another shell, then another, arranging them into careful little rows. Her focus, her creativity, her quiet joy in small discoveries, gifts her family had been too blind to notice. They'd wanted perfect. They got real. And if they were smart, they'd learn the difference before it was too late. The sunset turned the water gold and pink, Lily's hand in mine, sticky with salt water and melted ice cream. Somewhere back at the resort, my family was likely panicking, scrambling, counting the cost of their own cruelty. But here on this beach, with my extraordinary daughter, all I felt was calm. Tomorrow we'd face them together. Tonight we'd count shells, watch the stars, and hold on to everything that actually mattered. Because real excellence was never about being flawless. It was about staying brave enough to keep trying, kind enough to include everyone, and strong enough to stand tall when others try to tear you down. My daughter taught me that, and now it was her family's turn to learn it too.